A memory from the past when we drove the Arkana, but with different equipment. On this lovely day, we have here the Renault Arkana, or as it's known over here, the Conquest, but they don't call it the Arkana because that would be like calling it the Renault Putin, for example. So that's a no-no. Anyway, this is, I've already tested this car before, but this one has the Esprit Alpine equipment, which is, I believe, the highest level, but also it is a mild hybrid. So this has this really nice, brilliant pearl white color. I think it looks pretty fantastic, especially in weather like this, because when the sun hits it, you see all the little crystals and it kind of gives you a matte feeling as well, but also not. It's really nice. It's really interesting. And yeah, depending on what angle you look at this mask from, you get a feeling that it's a lot of little Renault badges, which is kind of cool. I think that's a pretty nice effect. And of course, under here, because this is a hybrid, it uses that 1.3 liter 4-cylinder turbo gas engine with a tiny electric motor, and it has a lot of, you know, those eco-saving features where it'll put it into neutral, shut off the engine, and it'll just let you coast, for example. Compared to a lot of these city crossovers with a sloping roof, the Arkana looks pretty nice. It's actually good looking from every side. Elongated rear lights along with a new Renault emblem are at the rear. Behind them, a reasonably sizable trunk. If we take a seat, we can find comfortable seats and a lot of details where the designers have tried making an interesting interior. I like the digital instruments, which are nicely incorporated into the dashboard and have pleasant graphics. Renault thankfully avoided the capacitive trap that a lot of manufacturers fell for, so you'll still find a lot of physical buttons around. Additions of Alcantara on the doors and seats are lovely and decorated with colorful stitching. There's also the Alpine badge. Now that I'm sort of, well, still kind of stuck in traffic, there's a traffic jam again, I'm really glad that I have this automatic model and not a manual, because, well, then your left foot starts hurting because of all the pressing of the clutch. But I do have to say there's a kind of an annoying quirk with this automatic transmission here, and of course the system as a whole, the start-stop system, because the car, when I come to a stop like this, it will stop the engine, and then it will also apply the brakes so the car doesn't move. So when you press the acceleration pedal, it will take anywhere up to a second for the engine to start, and then another half a second for the brakes to let go. I'll show you right now. And then intuitively, because nothing is happening, you press the gas pedal even more, and then you get more of a judder. So there we go, I pressed it, oh, and like there's a very visible, very big delay between pressing the acceleration pedal and the car actually moving. It's a bit annoying. So in order to get away from all that traffic jams, and now I'm stuck in one anyway, I'm taking some really sort of side roads here that are not in a very good condition. But anyway, what about the fuel consumption? Because this is a mild hybrid and it's a smaller engine, this 1.3, you'd expect it, well, to be a lower fuel consumption or consuming car. Jeez. My brain is starting to get cooked from the heat, I guess. I'd better put some AC on. But also because the car is sort of a crossover and it's a bit taller, you'd expect worse fuel consumption on the highway. But the interesting thing is, it's sort of the opposite. When we drove it in the city a fair bit, we found out that, well, the fuel consumption could get up to 7 liters per 100 kilometers, and it's quite a bit. And we thought, that's not very good. But of course, that is city fuel consumption. And then we went on to the motorway, and it actually fell down to about 6. So yeah, this car likes highways more than traffic like this. But of course, traffic like this really is better suited for electric. So much about my shortcuts. I'm stuck again. Of course, you know, if it's a shortcut, everyone's going to think of it as well. And then you get stuck anyway. So yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot I can fault this car with. It looks fairly good. I actually got comments that people like it and how it looks. It's a crossover. It's a higher, you know, taller car. So if you are looking for that sort of stuff, that's a plus as well. It's quite comfortable. It's got an excellent steering wheel. Really, I like that a lot. It's got a nice instrument cluster with nice graphics. You can customize it a little bit. It's got a fairly old now the infotainment screen with its graphics. It's serviceable, of course. It's a little bit slow, but you know, that's fine. But you do get manual climate controls, so that's nice. So yeah, not a lot I could fault it with, apart from that stupid auto hold thing where it really just is annoying when you're driving. So what I found myself doing is I've been turning it off and just, you know, staying on the brakes myself, and then catching myself off guard when I was on an incline. And of course the auto hold didn't work on the incline, even though it kind of should, I suppose. And the car started rolling back despite the automatic. So, yeah.
The Renault Megane Arkana starts at just under 27,000 euros. For the fully loaded Esprit Alpine E-Tech, you'll be paying 37,000 euros.